Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Now, this lesson is going to be based upon this video from the elder in Baltimore, okay, Karatazaba, on his channel, Holy Bible Defenders. And, this is an individual, a brother going back and forth with Vocab Malone. And he asks him a question, and he basically stumps him. But Vocab, being the serpent that he is, he's very slick and smooth on the left-hand side. So he'll, even if he doesn't know what to say, he'll say something witty, that will make it seem like he knows what he's talking about. You see, the deception is in also their confidence, the way they say things. Like when the serpent came to Eve, he came to Eve with a particular confidence, like he knew what he was talking about. Not like he was unsure of himself, like he knew what he was talking about, even though he was lying. Okay, just like Vocab Malone is, because at this point Vocab has to have somewhat of he has to see the reason why we're calling ourselves Israelite. He has to see the connection to us being Israelites at this point. Okay, but his job is to come against the truth and to deceive the masses, specifically Jake. That's why he's known as an urban apologist. He's not looking to really speak, to try to get white, so-called white people. He's really looking to get Jake, the Israelites, so-called black people, and keep black Christians Christians. Or if they're into Africanism, well, you can stay being an African, okay, or a Egyptologist, or a Muslim, or whatever the case may be. His whole thing is to get you away from being a Hebrew Israelite. That's why you don't see him battling Sonnet on the fact that they're Egyptians or whatever the case may be. So anyways, I'm going to play this video real quick, and I have a main point to make dealing with Deuteronomy 28 and 64.
It's just interesting that he doesn't present the full picture. He just presents a picture that he thinks will paint Israelites as not handling the scriptures correctly when dealing with that chapter, but he doesn't address all the points made, that lead us to the conclusion. It's like he just goes to 68 and assumes that we believe we're Israelites, just 28, 68, when, there's a whole chapter there of curses outlining people. And even says in the chapter that these curses will be on these people for a sign and a wonder, basically, alluding to the fact that we should be able to identify these people by the sign that God is putting on them. So, if I was going to ask Vocab anything, it'd be who does these signs point to on earth? If you believe that the Israelites still exist, these signs should point to a people. So, which people is it?
The Israelites of the Old Testament are the people that this happened to primarily.
Do they no longer exist today?
Well, they have descendants. They have descendants, certainly.
Well, it says that these curses would be on them for a sign, meaning we should be able to read the sign and say, okay, these are the people that this happened to. So are you saying that there's no more signs, or the people don't exist? Like, is there not a distinct people group that we can identify as the Israelites of the Old Testament?
Well, it's interesting the way you guys will use sign here in verse 46. It says, be a sign and a wonder against you.
Right.
So it's not a sign to identify the ethnic group after the ethnic group has forgotten who they are. It's a sign to show Yahweh's judgment and wrath against these.
You see, notice his calm, cool composure when he says it. See, he's trained to speak the way he speaks. Okay, and guess what? You know what he noticed a while back, and I noticed him kind of starting to speak like how we speak, because when we speak with this type of confidence because we actually know what we're talking about. But the serpent doesn't have to be telling the truth to speak with this confidence. This is in order to deceive you. Okay? Now, Let's get Deuteronomy 28:64, because the word against is not in that chapter, or 45 rather. The word against, 46 actually. The word against is not in that verse. He was reading a particular version. That's why when he said it, I'm like, what version is this guy reading that it says against? Because he specifically used that version, because that's the version that he could have used to rebuttal what that guy was saying. So he already had that in his mind. You see how slick and smooth the devil is? This is it says, and the people watching, they don't know anything. They don't look up words. They don't know what's in the Hebrew. Even that individual, if he knew, he would have said no. But that's not what's written in the Hebrew. Okay, vocab. The word against is not there in the Hebrew. Where'd you get that from? This is Deuteronomy 28:45. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee. Okay, meaning it's going to follow you and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Okay? Now let's do this. Let's look if we see the word against anywhere here. Okay? We see the word, and they shall be upon thee. The word oh goodness, Salakia, my fault. Oh, actually, you can't even click on this one. Okay, but this is not the word for against. The word for against. Anyways, we're gonna keep going. Okay, we're gonna see what else words it says. We say the word for sign, for a sign. Okay, we want to look up the word for sign, and I want to look up the word against right after I look up this word for sign. As a matter of fact, let's look up what the word against is right now. It's al. Okay, the word al, not Allah, but al. Okay, that's the word for against, right? It says what? Unto, with, against, at, okay, toward, okay, toward, unto, of motion, okay, against, all right, at, by, against. This is the word for against is al, okay, the and then the la. That word is not in Deuteronomy 28:60 and 45 or 46. Okay? So now when we look up the word sign, which is the word awath, okay, it says signs, token, ensign, miracles, a mark. A mark, just like Cain had a mark on him, a distinguishing mark. So that's the sign of these curses, is what? A distinguishing mark to identify who the Israelites are. Point blank, period. Remembrance, so you can remember who the Israelites are. And their whole and the whole thing that these other nations wanted to do was what? To get us to forget our heritage, to get us to forget that the name of Israel be no more in what? In remembrance. Okay. So vocab, you're losing, man. You're losing. Okay, and guess what? When he came to was it the Phoenix camp again? Like recently, he said, "Man, they've grown so much from since we were there." What does that tell you? That shows you that your mission is failing. Okay, you can't stop this. If the Most High be before it, you cannot overthrow it, man. This is Psalms 83:1. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O Most High, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Speaking of what? These other nations. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Okay, and they actually accomplished this by making us forget our heritage. Okay, let's go to Jeremiah 14, and then it mentions the nations after this. Okay, it mentions the tabernacles of Edom first, which are the so-called white people, the Ishmaelites, the Moab, the Hagarenes, so on and so forth. They've worked together to hide this information. Okay, spearheaded by the Edomites. But let's get Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. This is Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. It says, and thou, this is him speaking to Jeremiah, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, all right, which is being an Israelite. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Okay? And you could say, well, he can also say that the heritage is also dealing with the land, which is true. We were removed from the land, but then now you got to find when were those small hats removed from the land? When were they removed from the land? Okay? And brought into captivity to serve their enemies in slavery. They've been in rulership. They've been in rulership. Even in that time when that thing was happening to them, they were in rulership. The Rothschilds were in power. Amalek was running things. So you got to find when this happened to them. Okay? This is Jeremiah 17 and 4. Okay? But the thing is that not only did we leave from our land, we also forgot our heritage. Okay, and that was part of that crafty counsel of them cutting us our ties with the Most High. Now, you come back to this chapter, Deuteronomy 28:46. It says, and they shall be upon thee, okay, for a sign, right, and for a wonder. And you're not seeing the word al anywhere here, which means against. And upon thy seed, excuse me, Salakia, for, okay, ever. Okay, and this word forever doesn't mean as in for eternity. It means for a long period of time. See, the word forever in the scriptures doesn't always mean as in eternity. Okay, sometimes it means for a long period of time. Okay. Okay. It says long duration. See, that's one of the first definitions right here, long duration. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean for eternity, as Vocab, when he breaks it down, will have you believe, because his whole job is to deceive. He's going to use whatever fits his narrative. But the whole book doesn't fit his narrative. He has to manipulate the book to try to fit his narrative, because the whole book fits our narrative. But this is why we try to show you that this guy here is an Edomite, and the Edomites are what? The serpent. The serpent is very cunning, very crafty. The Lord said he was the most subtle. Matter of fact, let's get that. Oh, Salakia. Okay, this is something else. Oh, yeah. Let's go to Genesis 3. It says, now the serpent, which was an actual man with serpent-like characteristics, was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. All right, so he was subtle, and subtle means to not be noticeable. One of the definitions is like a web. Okay. So he tries to make when he makes a rebuttal, he tries to make the rebuttal seamless so that people can't catch the lie and the deception within it. Oh, it says against, so it doesn't really mean that. It means against, as in these are just the. This is the what did he say? the proof of the Lord's wrath against Israel. You know, he'll just say he'll put some words together and kind of try to paint over what the brother was saying. But they're very slick with it. But people can't notice the deception, because guess what? He's saying it with confidence, like he knows exactly what he's talking about, like he's heard this argument before, you know. It didn't say they were the serpent for no reason, man. Okay, it says even here, listen to how the serpent is talking. It said, and he said unto the woman, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. He said it with confidence. He didn't say it as if, oh, I don't know, I don't think you'll die. No, he said it with confidence, man. And that's how you get women. You speak with confidence. It doesn't matter if you deceive them. It's all about speaking with confidence, and that's what gets them. He could be the biggest scumbag on the earth, but as long as he's speaking with confidence, right, he can woo the woman. And that's why these advertisements, right, who do they target? They target women. Okay, for the Most High doth. Who did Jim Jones target when he put all those people to death? It was women. Okay, it says, for the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, right, because it had that good appearance, just like his words, right, they sound good, they sound like it makes sense, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired, to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Okay, so that's the point. Okay, so she was deceived by the serpent, because the serpent came just how Vocab came. Okay, because that's his daddy, the serpent in the garden, man. His spirit, he has that same similar type of spirit. Okay, so anyways, so that's the deception to Esau. Esau will come with those smooth words, but it's all to deceive you. This is Psalms 55:21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Okay, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, so you have to watch these Edomites. The scriptures say, never trust thine enemy. Let's listen to a little bit more.
People, and watch what it says, against you and your offspring forever. So if it's forever, right, the sign would never be lost.
Yeah, and I just showed you that word forever doesn't mean for eternity. Obviously, because the Lord said that he was going to bless the nation of Israel, and he was going to write his laws, statutes, and commandments in their inward part. So that's obviously not forever. That word doesn't necessarily mean forever, as in eternity. It could mean for a very long period of time, which it was on us as a sign for a very long period of time, even unto this day, throughout all of the captivities that we've been in, because Jake has disobeyed in all of these places. Okay, so stop playing games, Vocab.
Right, but nonetheless, there's still a sign on these people, correct?
Yeah, but your theory has it being lost. If you're misinterpreting what the sign's about. It's not saying, look, this sign basically lets you know you're an Israelite. The sign is, this shows God's wrath against sin. That's the sign and wonder against you and your offspring forever. But even interpreting...
Hold on, it didn't say nothing about sin. It said upon thy seed forever. It didn't say nothing about sin. It said upon thy seed forever. Yes, they were committing sins, and that's why they got punished. But it said it was upon their seed. You see, he likes to be technical and specific when it suits him. But whenever he wants to, he can just make it vague and paint things with a broad brush and put whatever definition he wants on things. That's the devil for you.
the way you have it, it says forever. So how could they lose it if it's forever?
What does forever always mean forever in the scripture? I mean, you're a scholar.
Exactly.
I'm sure you wouldn't agree to that, but
Good job. That brother did a good job. Exactly.
Saying the Bible never indicates the way you're supposed to identify Israelites is about who's the most cursed people group in the planet. That idea that you have, that the way to identify an Israelite is to find out who's the most cursed, is nowhere in Scripture.
Hold on. The scriptures does say. Hold on. The scriptures does say that nobody has been through what Jake has been through. Let's get that. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Daniel's 9. See, this devil, he's losing the battle, man. Okay, this is a losing battle. You cannot win this battle because this battle you're fighting is against the Most High Himself and His Son Yahweh Shai. This is Daniel's 9 and 11. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 9. It said, "To the Lord our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against Him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of Yahweh our power, to walk in His laws, which He set before us by His servants the prophets." And secondly, he said that it's about sin, right? So if that's the case, why are you still sinning? Why are you still saying it's okay to sin? Why is your beard all lined up? Hold on. Why is your beard all lined up? You know that's a sin. So why are you getting your beard lined up? Why are you eating pepperoni Sicilian pizza still? You understand what I'm saying? So this dude's nothing more than a damn hypocrite to lead you into the way of destruction. Okay? It says, "Neither have we obeyed the voice of Yahweh our power, to walk in His laws, which He set before us by His servants the prophets. Yea, and by who? His servants the prophets, which are back to date. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us," right? So the curse is still upon the Israelites, even in this Babylonian captivity. And after the Babylonian captivity, the Medo-Persian, and after that, the Greco-Roman captivities. Up until this present day, the last captivity, the curses are even upon us. Even a lot of them are on us even harder. Okay? And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against Him. You see that? So let me read this again. It says, "Yea, all Israel has transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us," because we didn't obey, right? "And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, which we were reading, Deuteronomy, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against Him." So that was clearly, as it said in Deuteronomy 28, it would pursue you. It pursued us even to this day. So those signs, that curse, are still upon us. So what is He's trying to do? He's trying to deceive you to make you think, that has nothing to do with that. Those signs it has nothing to do. You can't identify them by the signs. Well, it's telling you that the signs were still upon them, and they were identifying the signs that were upon them in Daniel's the 9th chapter. Okay? "And He hath confirmed His words which He spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem." So upon all the nations in the earth, no one has went through what the Israelites have went through. So what he just said was incorrect, and it was a lie. Okay? He said, it's nothing in the Bible says that you can identify them by how much tribulation they went through. I'm reading it right here. It said that nothing has been done under heaven to any other nation that has been done unto the nation of Israel. Why? Because we're His people, and we're constantly getting judged for what the things we've committed. You heathen are going to get yours last. Ultimately, that's what it is, because you're going to be punished in the kingdom of heaven. See, you don't get it, man. Let's bring it back. Which Vocab, he's just a serpent. But the majority of you people that are deceived by this guy, you don't get it.
I'm sure you wouldn't agree to that, but
saying the Bible never indicates the way you're supposed to identify Israelites is about who's the most cursed people group in the planet. That idea that you have, that the way to identify an Israelite is to find out who's the most cursed, is nowhere in Scripture.
Well, I just read it to you. Okay, that nothing has been done on the earth to any other nation. Nothing has been done under heaven, meaning all the nations that are under heaven, none of them have went through what the Israelites have went through. And that's identifiable now, today. Everyone knows nobody has been through what the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have been through as a people. Amalek, them smart hats ain't not getting profiled. They're not getting stopped and pulled over by the cops and beat and shot and shit like that. They're not getting that done. They ain't going to another country and they're getting looked down upon or whatever. They don't want their daughters to marry them because they look a certain way. No, you guys are not going through the curses, man. Living in the favelas and the ghettos. They had self-imposed ghettos, man. Jake was in there against their will. So give me a break. You guys are losing. The fact is we are the Israelites, and that's the end of the story. You're just going to have to face the judgment that's at hand, man. No, you think that you're going to be able to talk your way out of judgment? It's vanity. This is Daniel 9:13. It says, as it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil has come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before Yahweh, our power, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. Therefore hath Yahweh watched upon the evil and brought it upon us, right, even unto the last captivity, which was the transatlantic slave trade up into this day. He's been watching, but now since after the 350 years, the 3 days and a half, right, since the bulk of Judah got here, he sent the Spirit on Elder Abba Bivens, which taught King Masha, High Priest Ariah, so on and so forth. And then, from there was the One West and the Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakhar, Apostle Ramlab on down taught us. And this truth is spreading like wildfire to the point we got brothers that don't look like typical Israelites all over the world. We got a brother from Italy that was just newly converted, man. So you got two brothers from Italy that look like straight up Edomite-looking Italians that are out there calling upon the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You cannot stop this truth, man. It says, for the Lord our power is righteous in all his works which he doeth, for we obeyed not his voice. And he said what would happen if we didn't obey his voice. The sign of the curses. So vocab, he's losing. You can tell he's losing sleep. And the closer we get to the end, the more they're gonna realize that we are those people. And I'll say shalom.